Hi folks, and welcome to the first instalment of the Modding Toolbox. In this series we aim to show you a bunch of essential tools that are really useful for case modding and of course for DIY purposes all around. Today we're going to be focusing on drill bits. Of course it's worth mentioning that this is just an overview video because this topic is very wide. So we're going to have a link in the description to the more in-depth article on bit tech. We're going to kick things off by having a look at what is probably the most essential drill bit of all, the twist drill. Now these are the ones you're going to be using for most of your drilling tasks for modding or DIY. And usually they come in kits like these. They have multiple sizes and maybe different finishes if you've got some of the larger kits. They also come like this, individual. Now the handy thing about both of these is that they cover different ends of the market. A twist drill set will allow you to have all the sizes you may need for a project and more in case you want to expand your capabilities. Individual is great because you can easily replace ones that are broken or dulled. Say if it snaps mid-project, you can have a spare. Alternatively, you can have many beforehand so that you've always got something to hand. It's important to know that not all drill bits are created equal, and this is especially the case for twist drills, which come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and finishes. Starting off with the shape, you'll see that some drill bits are designed for materials such as wood, like these. They have pointed tips which are designed to center the drill bit and are really good at extracting all the material from what you're drilling. These are much more efficient for drilling soft materials like wood or MDF, but they can't be used on metal because they will dull, they're not hardened to the same degree, and their shape doesn't really work for that particular material. So for those, you're going to want to maybe use these. These are metal specific drill bits, although they can be used for wood and plastics as well. They have much flatter tips and are designed for scraping away the material. They're also made from much harder materials. In this case, we've got high-speed steel and cobalt. It's also worth considering the finishes that the drill bits come with. So for the basic high-speed steel, this will work most of the time. It's absolutely fine. It's very versatile and they're very cheap. You can also move to a titanium coated drill bit, which will have a little bit less friction and is good for thicker materials or harder materials. At the top end, you're going to find cobalt drill bits. Now these sort of combine the best of both. They're very strong. Their edge lasts for a very long time and they stay much cooler, which is easier for drilling a variety of materials. Now a small consideration with twist drills is the cutting angle, also known as the rake. Now certain materials respond better to a steeper cutting angle and others to a more blunt one. So I'm going to show you a little mod which makes drill bits a little bit easier to use on materials such as brass, because brass can catch very easily when you're drilling with a typical HSS type twist drill. So what I'm going to do here is just reduce the rake angle a little bit on this drill bit to make it more effective on brass. To do this, all you need is a simple oil stone. I'm using one that I picked up on Amazon. It's quite cheap and it'll work really well for this. All you need to do is lubricate the stone and then carefully drag the end of the drill bit along the edge. What we're trying to do is make the cutting angle a little bit steeper. That way it won't grab the metal much. Moving on from twist drills, we've got what I think is a very underrated and underused drill bit, which is a center drill. They're particularly useful if you're going to be working with metals, or if you're going to be using a pillar drill or another machine such as a lathe. The main feature of center drills is that they're very short and stout. This makes them very rigid and stops them from wandering around the place. You'll often find that with harder materials, longer drill bits tend to wander. Using a center drill helps prevent this. They come in a variety of sizes, and you can just choose the one that fits the drill bit you're going to be using later. Next on the list are countersinking bits, like these. As the name suggests, these are used to add a countersink or a beveled edge around the outside of a hole. As with the other drill bits, they come in a variety of styles, such as this Weldon style zero flute bit, and also this triple fluted bit. Each has a different use, with the Weldon one being maybe more suitable for softer materials and also for deburring, and harder materials like metals better with the fluted one. Now these bits are good fun. These are stepped drills, and they're used for drilling obscenely large holes into sheet materials. Perfect for if you're adding fill ports to a PC, and they're much easier to use than these, just really big drill bits. The reason why these work so well is that they just drill a little bit at a time. So rather than trying to put a massive drill bit through a smaller hole and make it really big, these go step by step by step by step. Now the drawback is you can only use these on thinner materials. This one only goes to about 4mm in thickness. So use it for sheet metals, plastics, and maybe thin wood, but that's about it. Speaking of drilling large diameter holes, You may have seen these before. These are hole saws. Now, these are designed for use with soft materials such as wood and MDF. These work by taking one of these large cutting heads and attaching them to this guide drill bit. You put that into the drill, it drills into the material, and this cuts the large hole around it. And if you are working with soft materials like wood and MDF, of course there are other specialist drill bits, such as a spade bit or a Forstner bit if you want a really accurate hole. So that covers the basics of most of the drill bits that you're likely to use for modding. Of course, make sure to check out the in-depth article over on the website, and stay tuned for more. Speaking of large holes, I was at your mum's the other day.